Good morning, Year 10. Today, the poem we're looking at is called Sonnet 43. It's by a poet called Elizabeth Barrett Browning. So, hope you'll like it. I'll read it through with you in this video, talk you through some of the lines, and then at the end of the video, you can find the questions that I'd like to answer today. Okay, so good luck with this, and as always, leave comments in the Google Classroom if you need any help with anything. Sonnet 43 by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight, for the ends of being an ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs, and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with the love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And, if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. Okay, so let's have a look at the poem again, a bit closer this time. So first of all, the first word, how. This sets up a question, how do I love thee? There's a question mark there, which the rest of the poem kind of deals with the answer. So how do I love thee is a direct question from the speaker to her partner, her lover. There's the old-fashioned word for you, the word thee there. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. And the interesting focus here in the second half of the first line is the word count, which suggests that it's going to be quite a methodical approach to love. She's going to list through all the things that she feels about her feelings towards this other person in this relationship. So quite a logical approach. It's maybe a slight unexpected way of approaching love, which is so passionate and kind of illogical. She's kind of put some reasons into this. So it's a really quite thoughtful and reflective poem where she kind of reflects and looks back at her feelings that she has for this other person, and she explores them. So into line 2, the first thing she wants to kind of explore is how big her love is. So she uses these words of depth, which means deep, how deep her love is, breadth, which is how wide her love is, and height, obviously how high her love is, how far her love spreads, really, how far it goes, and it can reach as far as her soul can reach. Now that kind of means that her feelings, her love for her partner are almost infinite, which is obviously as big as something can be. So that's really quite powerful. She finishes the first 4 lines with these 2 words here: being an ideal grace. Now these 2 concepts, as you can see, these 2 ideas have got capital letters, which means that they're proper nouns. And that means that they have got heightened importance. They are very, very significant. So if the ends of being, that means the idea of the end of life, the end of time, the end of the universe. So her love will go on until the end of existence. An ideal grace is the idea of heaven. And so basically her love will last forever throughout the end of time and into heaven. So basically she's saying her love is eternal and it'll never ever stop. So her love is pretty big, is what she's saying in these first kind of 3 lines here that answer the question that has been set at the beginning. So the first kind of answer to the question, how do I love thee, let me count the ways, was about the hugeness, the vastness of her love, and the sense that it was never ever going to end. That is very quickly contrasted with these 4 lines. So she goes from this huge kind of never-ending love. It's the idea of I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need. So she turns her love from this massive, vast love in the first four lines into justice every day. Okay, she just loves him every day, and it's nothing special. It's just level. It's just every day's most quiet need. That's how simple her love can be as well. So she really reduces her love from this massive giant thing in the first four lines into this tiny, everyday, ordinary part of her life. You know, it's just as ordinary as sun and candlelight. So she loves him every day by sun. She loves him in the daytime and by candlelight. She loves him in the evening as well, at night time too. So she loves him 24/7. But it just seems quite ordinary, quite plain, and quite basic compared to the vastness that she talked about her love in the first couple of lines. So we get this kind of strong contrast that her love is huge in lines 2, 3, and 4, and in lines 5 and 6, her love is just ordinary, everyday, non-stop. So, still in the second four lines, so lines 5, 6, 7, and 8. Here, the next one is the idea of I love thee. Now, she's used this phrase I love thee already. It's in the opening line, and she repeats it twice in this section. There's actually the third repetition of I love thee in line 9 as well. We'll get to that in a moment. And the last line, the words love thee appear again. So these are kind of repeating phrases that go to the poem, and it's just again emphasizes her strong feelings um, towards her partner. So I love thee freely. Freely is a concept. Okay, I love thee freely, and it's basically what she's saying. She loves him effortlessly. There's no struggle. There's no. It's not forced. Um, it's not like she doesn't want to do it. She loves him very easily, very naturally, without any kind of force or kind of negativity. So it's a really positive love here, and she compares it to as men strive for right, and the idea of right um, is the idea that to do the right thing, to be in the right side. So you know, she's saying that what people like to do, what men try to do, is do the right thing. So she's saying that she loves him freely because it's the right thing for her to do. There's no question in her mind that it's the wrong thing or that she shouldn't be doing it. She then says that she loves him purely, and purely means without any kind of blemish, without any kind of stain or imperfection. So she's talking that it's perfect. Purely also has a sense of without any kind of it's very innocent and very uh, without any kind of inconsistency. So she's not changing her mind. She's not got any feelings for anybody else. It's all about him. So pure, concentrated feelings towards her partner. As they that turn from praise, this is her simile here. They that turn from praise, the people who've been to church. So they've gone to church. They've been to a religious service, and they come away um, as if they've been in contact with God, which means that they are pure again. So they've either been to confession and they've purified themselves in their sins, or they've been to communion and they've had a chance to pray and connect with God. So she's suggesting here in these two lines that her love is free and pure, and it's the right thing to do, and it's almost like that she's got a kind of religious kind of connection between her and her feelings towards her partner. So the final six lines start with the phrase again, I love thee. Okay? Like I said earlier, we've already seen that a couple of times in the poem. There's just again re emphasizing the simple fact that she loves him. Passion. So we've had freedom, or they had free love and pure love, and now we've got passionate love. So it's again another dimension to her feelings towards her partner. And she uses a couple of interesting things. So old griefs here. in my old griefs. Now, the idea of old griefs would suggest that she has got um, some old negative emotions, that maybe that she had very strong feelings in the past, but they might not be very positive. And it's maybe that her feelings for her partner have erased those negative feelings, that grief that she's had, and all she has now is positivity, and that her life has been kind of been improved. Her bad feelings, her sadness, her, any kind of negativity has been erased because of the love she now has for her partner. So after dealing with the kind of the negativity of this old grief here that it's been erased now, she's found her partner. She looks back, kind of keeps this kind of viewpoint of looking back over her life, and she brings in this idea of childhood's faith. Now, the idea of childhood's faith is to do with her younger self when she was a child, and the kind of the faith she had in God and in religion back then, and it probably a simple just trust that God existed and that she believed in God. Now, it could be suggested here that by saying that she now loves him with my childhood's faith, she might have actually replaced God uh, in her heart with her partner. That he has now he's become so important in her life that he might have almost replaced her religion, which is huge. When if you're thinking about someone who's got religious belief, so she's kind of almost idolizing her partner here by suggesting that he's almost like a god to her, especially if her childhood's faith, or maybe this immaturity. That's how she fell in love with him, and she thinks he's this amazing guy who has taken over her life, as it were. You know, he's replaced her faith because he's so important to her. So the idea that she may have replaced her religious faith with her love for her partner is also um, mentioned here. So I love I seem to lose with my lost saints. So again, saints are another part of her religious faith, and again, it could be argued that she is saying that her love here, I love thee again, uh, with the love that she used to have when she believed in religion more. So, what religious faith she had has been lost has now transferred onto her partner. She goes on to say, "I love thee." You know, how many times is in this poem to use those three words? With the breath, smiles, tears, all my life. So, you know, every breath, every smile, every tear throughout her life has contributed or kind of amassed and is now as big as her love. So every breath is an expression of love for him. So she just basically loves him with everything she's got, which is again brings back that idea that was in the beginning of the poem. Just her love is huge and kind of never ending. This man. The last couple of lines, she ends on a kind of this negative note about death, and you know the way this poem's been going, it's you wouldn't necessarily expect to have this like negative uh, conclusion. So perhaps it's not as negative as it might first seem. Basically, she's saying that if God chooses, so if God decides, if God wants it, I shall love, I shall but love thee better after death. So the sense that even death, God willing, even death can't stop her love for this man because she's going to continue to love him even more, better even, um, after death. So that could be taken as a kind of bit of a joke in a way. Perhaps she could, some people might think that says, and when you're dead, I'm going to love you even more, suggesting that maybe she will be happier without him. But I think the innocent and the more kind of straight reading is that she imagines that her love cannot die, and it's going to even if she dies, her love, uh, because her faith in God is there, will allow it to grow and continue to develop. Uh, even after her physical being on Earth has ended. So a really, really positive poem about love. One of the most positive poems about love in the collection that we'll be looking at. Um, and that kind of makes this one stand out a little bit because it's just so one-sided. It's all the positives. It seems so straightforward. It's just, and she makes it seem so easy to be in love with someone. So it's a great little poem. Although that the message might be quite straightforward and quite simple, the the way in which she expresses it is quite complicated. So it's a really interesting one, I think, because it's got a number of different layers to it, and hopefully you've now got a grasp of this one, and we can go on and answer some questions. So here are the three questions that I would like you to answer and to return to me by tomorrow. So question one, why do you think that the speaker hopes that her love is supported by God? And this idea of God is quite, and religion is quite a feature of this poem. So explore the idea of why it matters that God supports her love. Number two, what is the effect of the rhyme of breath and death in lines 12 and 14? This is the very end of the poem. So look back and think about, why bring this rhyme pattern in at the end? What's this rhyme trying to do? How does this rhyme link the idea of breath and death? What do you think the effect of it is? And finally, number three, the speaker focuses only on the positives, okay, of love in this poem. And what's the effect of this? It's 100% positive, this poem. Um, so have a think about what the effect of that is on the reader.